So good morning, namaste to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present. So you can sit either on your mat or in your chair, nice long back, long spine. Open up your heart, open up your diaphragm, and gently close your eyes. Soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For your intention this morning, you can think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat, and maybe perhaps carry with you throughout the day. So my intention this morning is to continue to celebrate National Yoga Month, the month of September, by trying something new. And today it's chair yoga. So as you know, when I took my yoga teacher training, I honestly didn't have an intention to teach, but I thought in the back of my mind, if I ever did teach, it would be my peer group. And probably I would have to teach my peer group, retirees, chair yoga. Well, you all have totally proven me wrong on that, totally. I've been just so impressed and so amazed at everyone's abilities. And I don't know if chair yoga will ever come into play, but here it is today. But it's not only just for seniors. It can be used at the office or traveling when you're sitting a lot, or it can you can use it if you've had injuries or surgery. So it's not just the old folks yoga. It has other benefits to it. And the benefits of yoga while sitting in a chair, like the pranayama, the breathing, and the meditation, and the asanas, the poses, are something that you all can do in a chair. The asanas that are done in chair yoga are typically low impact on the joints, and they are intended to improve flexibility, circulation, and build strength and coordination. So let's start this morning with pranayama and the breathing technique, and you can either be in your chair or on the mat for this. And we'll review just the three of the breathing techniques, starting with Dirja Pranayama, which is the complete breath. And that's just focusing on breathing from your stomach on up to your ribs, on up to your chest. So that complete breath, inhaling deeply through your nose, inflating your chest, your stomach, then breathing, following that passage of air up to your ribs, and then up to your chest, and then a deep exhale through your nose, deflating the air in your chest, and then letting it flow away from your ribs, and then letting it flow away from your stomach. So let's just take 3 breaths that using the Dirja Pranayama. So inhale, stomach, ribs, chest, exhale, flow away from your chest, ribs, and stomach. Inhale, stomach, ribs, chest, Exhale, flow away from your chest, your ribs, and your stomach. One last one, inhale, deep inhale, inflating your stomach, feeling it going up to your ribs, feeling that air go up to your chest. And then exhale, letting it flow away from your chest, flow away from your ribs, and flow away from your stomach. Then we're going to layer on top of that the Ujjayi breath, those controlled sounds that emanate from the back of your mouth or throat rather, like Darth Vader. And that becomes the soundtrack of our yoga practice typically. So take that Deirdre, full complete breath, and just add that sound to it. So we'll do 3 of those. Do your best Darth Vader. And the last one we'll layer on top of that is the Samavriti, which is the equal length breath. And we'll just count to 4 using the complete breath, making the sound of the Ujjayi, and then, and you probably were doing it anyway, but just kind of focus on having that breath inhale be the same equal count as the exhale. So inhale, exhale. Count to yourself, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So do remember when you're sitting in your chair, either at traveling or at your office or anytime, you know, those breaths aren't relegated just to your yoga mat. You can use them anytime. I use the Samavriti at night when I'm trying to get to sleep all the time. So let's go to the chair. And for meditation, meditation is done typically in a sitting position, so you could stay alert and awake. That's kind of the idea of the sitting. So when you're in your chair and you're meditating, now a lot of people meditate on the floor, on the mat, on a cushion. But if you happen to be seated in your chair, it's kind of nice to know the essentials of good posture in your chair. So we'll start with the feet. I have a blanket under my feet, so that raises up my knees a little bit so that my knees and my hips are at the same height. And my legs are in a right angle, so the knees stack over the ankle. The knee is equal to the hip length. My knees are hip width apart. I'm scooted to the back of my chair, so my tailbone is nicely seated on the very end of my chair. I'm not slouched forward. And I also have a blanket here, you can see, and that is for a lumbar support. Your lumbar part of your spine goes from the bottom of your rib cage down to your tailbone. It's where your lower back curves the most. And if you're going to be seated for a long time, either traveling or at the office or for meditation, it's nice to have that lumbar support. A lot of times physical therapists, if you have lower back issues, will recommend either buying this specially made pillow, or you can customize it with a rolled blanket and placing it on your chair so that it supports your lumbar. So then your spine is nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. The crown of your head is flat so that you pull a string, you're reaching your back straight up. And your hands, if you're at a desk or anywhere, elbows should be at right angles. So think a lot of right angles with your knees, right angles with your hip and your spine, right angles with your elbows. So a lot of times people have that keyboard and the mouse lower than the desktop so that you can create that right angle with your arms. So those are sustainable positions if you're seated for a while and if you're seated during meditation. So that's what I have to offer for meditation. We won't actually do that today. That's just being able to get you into a good position. So that I'm going to move my chair because I just wanted to demonstrate from the side. I'm going to have my chair, so the back edge of it is on the mat because this floor is slippery, and have my towel there to support my even height. Now with this, looking up, I saw places where they said your knees could be slightly higher than your hips. I saw where your knees could be slightly lower than your hips. And I saw a lot of places where it said that they're even. So I'm going with the even, but again, listen to your body to feel and hear what is best for you in a sustained position. If it's lower, if your knees are lower and that's not working, and level height's not working, try the higher. So let's start with warming up the body. So we're going to start again with nice, straight, lots of right angles in your body. And we're going to nod our head down, tucking our chin to our chest. And then lifting our head up to the sky, just sending your gaze up to the ceiling, but not dropping your head back. Exhale, bring your chin back to your chest. Inhale, lift your eyes and chin up toward the sky. Exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift your eyes up to the sky. And then bring your head back to neutral position where the crown of your head is nice and flat. And then gonna turn our head to the right. And exhale, come back. Inhale, turn our head to the left. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, turn our head to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Inhale, turn to the left. And come back to center. And we'll start with our shoulder shrugs going in one direction. Just relax your shoulders, maybe sliding your hands up and down your lap while you're bringing your shoulders up to your ears. See if you can synchronize your breath to your movement, which would mean I would slow down quite a bit. And then let's reverse direction. And then come back to neutral position. Bringing our hands down alongside of us. We're going to do some sun breaths. So inhale, lifting your arms up overhead. Exhale, bringing your hands back down. Deep inhale, lifting your arms up. Exhale, arms come back down. Inhale, lifting your arms all the way up and keeping them up there, and then twist to the left and bring both arms down together so that they're parallel. Then inhale, bring both arms up, keeping them parallel. We can go overhead and turn to the right and bring them down on the right-hand side. And inhale, lift them up again. Turn to the left, bring them down. Big exhale. And then bring your right hand to your left knee and your left hand to your right knee. So you're facing forward. And then bring your arms up and we're going to come into equal arms. So your arms are crossed, backs of your hands are together. And if you're able to, bring the palms of your hands together. And then we'll lower our elbows toward our lap. And then inhale, lift our elbows to the sky. Exhale, lower to the lap. Inhale, lift to the sky. Exhale, lower to the lap. Inhale, lift to the sky. And then bring them back to neutral. And we'll start again with sun breaths. So inhale, sweeping your hands up overhead. Deep exhale, bringing them back down. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. Inhale, up. Keeping them up overhead, you're going to turn to the right and bring them down parallel to one another. Inhale, come back up. Sweeping them over to the left side and then bringing them back down with a big exhale. Then inhale, come back up. Sweeping them over to the right side. And come back down. Bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand to your left knee, crossing your arms. And then bring your arms crossed up so that the backs of your hands are together. And if you're able to, bring the palms of your hands together for eagle arms. Exhale, bring the elbows toward your lap. Inhale, lifting elbows up to the sky. Exhale, bringing them down to the lap. Inhale, lifting them up to the sky. Exhale, bringing them down to the lap. And inhale, lifting them up to the sky. And then bring them down and relax, come back to neutral position. We're going to lift our arms up to shoulder height and then bend them into cactus arms. And today, since we're not going to be on the mat, we're not going to be doing any planks or downward dogs or cobras. We don't have any upper body strength or arm strength poses. So this will serve for that. So rather than just lifting your arm up and down, I'd like you to push with resistance up to the sky and then pull really hard down. So your arms are extremely active. Push up like you're pushing a ton of weight up to the sky and then pulling a ton of weight down. Pushing up. Pulling strong down. Pushing up. And then pulling down. And one last time, really push a ton of weight up. Oh my gosh. And then pull that ton of weight down. And then come back to neutral position and relax your arms. You can shake them out a little bit. And place your left hand on top of your left knee. Your fingers can curl around the edge of your knee. And lift your right arm up beside your ear. We're going to do a side stretch. So we're going to bend our left elbow toward our thigh and stretch over to the left. Then inhale, come back up. And we'll do that again. Just bend your elbow toward your thigh and stretch over to the left. And And then come back up. And one last time, elbows comes to try to sit on your lap and then bring your arm over for a nice side stretch. Lift back up, come back to neutral. We'll do that on the other side. So bring your right hand to your right knee, just kind of curling fingers around the corner. Lift your left arm up beside your ear, and then bring your right elbow down toward your lap as you're curling, making a nice stretch over to the right side. And then inhale, come back up. And then lower your elbow toward your lap and stretch over to the right. Inhale, come back up. And one last time, elbow comes to your lap and stretch over to the right. And come back up. So we're going to do some cat-cows. And this is something that when you're in a chair, especially like if you're traveling in a plane and you have lower back issues, I think cat-cows, at least personally for me, it's one of the best exercise for my lower back issues. So to do it in a seating position is a really nice thing to have in your yoga tool belt. So we're going to slide our hands toward our knees, rounding our backs, tucking our navel toward our spine, tucking our chin toward our chest. And then slide our hands back, bringing our hands all the way back to the thighs, sending your elbows back, opening your chest, reaching your chin up toward the sky, but not dropping your head back. Similar to what we did first exercise. And slide your hands forward so they curl around your knees, rounding your back, tucking your chin, tucking your navel to your spine. Then slide your hands back, all the way back to the tops of your thighs, to where your hips are, so your elbows are pointing back, chest is open, chin is up toward the sky. Exhale, rounding your back to cat. Sliding your hands down. Tucking your navel in. Inhale, come back up, bringing your hands all the way back to your hips, elbows back, chest open, chin up. Exhale, sliding your hands down, rounding your back. And then one last time, slide your hands back to your hips, elbows back, chest open, chin up for cow. And then come back to a neutral position. And we'll do that this time with circles. So we're adding a little bit of twist in it. So the idea here is to use your nose to try to draw a horizontal circle. So while you're doing this drawing of the circle, you remember to round your back, and then you're stretching toward the front, stretching, opening your heart, lifting your chin up, and then bringing it back to the right side, tucking your chin to your chest. So again, you're drawing this horizontal circle with your nose, but as you're doing it, you're incorporating the elements of cat-cow. Rounding your back, opening your chest, lifting your chin. Surveying the floor here. And let's try going the other direction. So just reverse your direction, drawing that circle with your nose. Nice big open circle. One last circle, and I'll meet you back in a neutral position. Okay. So with the next series, you may want to come forward on your seat a little bit. You'll have to see, but it's fine that you, there's going to be somewhere we're right on the edge of our seat. My chair has these little knobs on the end right here. So I'm actually going to put my blanket there because those little knobs hurt when I try to widen my legs a little bit. So we're going to do what we normally do in our warm-up, and that is lift our toes off the mat, spreading them out, and then lowering your toes to the mat and lifting your heels up off the mat. And we'll do that a couple times. So lower your heels back down in the mat, lift your toes, spread them as far as you can, bringing to the mat, lifting your heels up off the mat, and then come back down. And lift your toes off the mat, spread them open, and lower them to the floor, to the mat, lifting your heels off the mat. And then come back to a neutral position. Forward folds in a chair, you can do halfway or half forward folds or full forward folds, but we'll work into that. So start by sliding, coming into the neutral position, sliding your hands so that they curl around your knees and bringing your elbows to your lap. You're rounding your back. So then come back up, straight up, bringing your hands back to a neutral position. And then next we're going to slide our hands down, curling them around our knees and actually keep them going so that they're down to our shins. So they can either be on the front of the shin or your hands wrapped around your shins. Back is curved, but not too curved. And then come all the way back up. Slide slowly back up. And then the next one, we're going to go full forward fold. So we're going to slide our hands all the way down our legs to our feet. Come between your legs and just let your head hang. And take your arms and take the hand, your left hand, and wrap it around your right elbow. And your right hand is wrapped around your left elbow for ragdoll hands or arms. And just hang here for a few moments. Just let gravity take over and relax in this pose. Place your hands back on your feet and slide them all the way back up. We'll do that series one more time. So we'll start with the shorter version of forward fold. So bringing your hands just so they fingertips curl around your knees, bringing your elbows to your thighs, rounding your back, and just relaxing here for a moment. Breathe in. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And then come back up, neutral position, and then we're going to slide our hands around our knees and down to our shins. And just relax our back here. And then slide them back up. And then we'll slide our hands all the way down to our feet. Bringing our hands to our elbows for ragdoll, and just hang here and let gravity take over. And then bring your hands back to your feet and slide them back up. Back to neutral position. You're going to extend, and this you may want to scoot to the end edge of your chair. Let's send out our right leg so that it's straight down and the heels on the floor. Foot is flexed as much as you can up to the ceiling. So there's energy there. You're stretching out the back of your hamstrings. And bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. The straight back. We can bring our nose so that just over our left knee. You feel that stretch in your hamstrings. And then come back up. We'll do that again. Slowly bring your nose to your knee, to either knee. They're both at the same space. Just bringing your nose to where they meet. Stretching out the back of your hamstring and come back. And one last time. Straight back, nose over knee. Maybe if you can a little further, if that's not stretching your hamstring. And then come back up. We're going to twist our body, keeping our hands in Anjali Mudra. Twist our body to the left side. And if you're able to, you can tilt your elbow down toward your knee and come into a twist, keeping your hands in prayer pose and your hands at heart center. And then come back up and come back to neutral position. We're going to come back and lift our knee, our right knee, interlacing our fingers around it, and bring it toward our chest, one of our favorite knees to chest pose. And then we bring our hands underneath our knee and extend our leg out straight, flexing the foot up toward the sky. So your toes are reaching toward the sky. You can support your leg with your hands or not. And then bring it, tuck it back to your chest, give it a nice hug. And then we're going to bring our leg, wrapping our right hand around the right knee, bring it over to the right side, facing forward still. So you're opening up your hips. And then bring it back to center and place your right ankle onto your left knee, right above your left knee on the thigh, keeping your right foot flexed. Back is nice and straight and tall. One hand, left hand's on your foot, on your ankle, and the other hand's on your knee. We're going to keep a straight back and just gently lean forward as far as comfortable for you, finding that sweet spot. Chest is nice and open. And then come back to center. And then bring your foot back and we'll come back to neutral position. We'll do that all on the other side. So extend your left foot out, left leg out. So it's nice and straight and toes are flexed so they're pointing up to the sky. The right leg is at a right angle. You bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And then with a straight back, kind of tilt forward so that your nose comes right above your knees. And then come back again. We'll try that again. So nice straight leg on the left side. Toes are flexed up to the sky. Straight back, lean forward, bringing the tip of your nose right above your knees. And then back. And then one last time. Bring the tip of your nose, and maybe you can extend it just a little bit further than the knee. Don't go crazy. Just a little bit would be fine. Just so you feel that your hamstring is getting loosened up a little bit. And then come back. Keeping your hands in Anjali Mudra, we're going to twist to the right. And if you're able to, you can tilt your left elbow to your right knee and come into a twist, keeping your hands in Anjali Mudra, palms at your heart center. And then come back up. Come back to neutral position. Interlace your fingers around your left knee. Bring your left knee to your chest. Give it a nice little hug. And then bring your hands below your knee, interlacing your hands. Extend your left leg out straight. Toes are flexed up to the sky. And if you can let go of the support. You feel that a lot in your quads, tops of your thighs. Building strength there. And maybe just alternate supporting it and letting go, supporting it and letting go. And then bring your knee back to your chest, give it a nice gentle hug. And wrapping your left hand around your left knee, right hand on your right knee. Open your left leg to the side, hip opener. And then come back and place your left knee on top of your right knee, right behind the knee, flexing your left foot, placing both hands, one on your left ankle and the other on your left knee. With a straight back, just gently lean forward. And you can feel that opening up your hips there. And come back. We'll just do that 2 more times. Gently lean forward. And bringing your nose so that it's even with your knees, if possible. And one last time. Come forward. And come back. Come back to neutral position. And we're going to have our knees open quite a bit. So this might require you coming even further to the edge of your seat. In my case, because of these little knobs, I have to. I'm trying to keep my feet on the mat so that I have my feet supported and anchored down. So it's a wide-legged stance. So your feet are pointing to the corners of your mat or pointing at a 45-degree away from you. They're in line with your knees. So your back is nice and straight and tall. We'll lift our arms up to shoulder height, bringing them to the front of us. Gonna interlace, and I'm not a diver, so I'm not sure how you do it, but I think interlacing your thumbs and putting your hands over fingers, the rest of the fingers over one another, like you're about to dive off a diving board. And then stretch forward as if you are diving off the diving board, bringing your ears to inside the inner parts of your arms. You stretch forward and just keep stretching forward like you're about to dive in. And come back, bringing your arms to shoulder height and bring them down. The next pose is a modification of a triangle. So we're going to have our left, I guess we'll start on the left, left hand on our left knee. The elbow is going to come to our thigh. We'll lift our right arm up to the sky. And then, if you're able to, slide your left hand down your inner part of your left leg so it comes down to the mat, sending your gaze up to your hand, just as we do with triangle. And they come back up. With your hands on your knees, we're going to bring our right hand out to the side, and then we're going to thread it between the opening of our arm and our leg here. We're going to thread it right through, sending it toward the back of the mat, bringing our right ear and our right shoulder down toward the mat. This is threading the needle. And then come back up. And then the last one in this series is this one. Let me demonstrate for you. It's a little tricky. It's on every chair yoga video I've seen and done, so I'm not really sure about it. So anyway, it's warrior two. So you're coming to the edge of your seat. You take your left leg, send it toward the left, and then you're going to extend your right leg back. Maybe it's just the chair that I'm in, because I did it on my sofa this morning and that actually worked a little bit better. So you're supported by the chair. Your back edge of your foot's down into the mat. Front leg is at a right angle, so you can see your toe, just the same elements that we do when we're standing in warrior two. Opening our chest to the long edge of the mat. Raise our arms up to shoulder height. Send our gaze to our left fingertips. And then lift our left arm up while dropping our right arm back for reverse warrior. And then bringing our left arm to our left thigh and sweeping our right arm overhead and pointing it to the short side of the mat or top of the mat for extended side angle. And then come back to a neutral position. Come back to your seated neutral position. So we'll do that all again on the other side. So we'll start with our wide-legged stance. Knees and toes are pointing off at a 45-degree angle. Lift our arms up to shoulder height. Nice straight back. Bring our hands together in front of us, interlacing the thumb. and the fingers into a dive position, and then stretch forward, sending the hands out ahead, bringing your head down between your arms, just as if you're about to dive into the water. And then bring your arms back out to the sides and lower them down. Modified triangle on the other side. So you bring our right arm to our right thigh, sending our right arm up to the sky, and you can send your gaze up to the sky and that could be fine. Or if you like to extend it down, you can slide your right hand down the inner part of your right leg down to the mat for a full triangle pose. And then come back up. Placing both hands on your knees. We're going to lift our left arm up, shoulder height, and then send it through this little passageway we created on the right side between our arm and our thigh. And then lower our left ear and left shoulder toward the floor. So thread the needle. And then come back up. And then into warrior two pose. Come on the edge of your chair. We send our right leg into that right angle, the toes and the knees lined up. The back edge of your foot should be down on the mat. You're supported on your inner thigh and your seat. Sweeping your hands up, keeping your chest open to the side of the mat. Slowly turn your head to look over your right fingertips. And then raise your right hand up as you're lowering your left hand down for reverse warrior. And then bring your right hand down. Right forearm is on your right thigh. Left hand sweeps over your head to the front of the mat for extended side angle. Chest is nice and open. And then come back up to neutral seated position. So we'll take our left knee, wrap our fingers around that, and do a knee to chest. Straightening out our back, opening our chest. And then we're going to curl our back, round our back, and bring our nose to our knee. And then lift up and set that back down. We'll do that on the other side. So interlace your fingers around your right knee. Bring your knee to your chest. Nice straight back, opening your chest. Give it a nice stretch. And then rounding your back, bring your nose to your knee. And then place that back down. We'll do that again on both sides. So again, your left side, interlace your fingers, knee to chest, nice straight back, Elbows are down toward your ribs. Chest is nice and open. And then round your back, bringing your nose to your knee. And release that leg. Interlace your hands around your right knee. Bring that up to your chest, knee to chest. Elbows to your sides. Back is nice and straight, chest open. And then round your back and bring your nose to your knee. And then bring that back down. Interlace your fingers around your left knee again, bringing it up. And then we're going to slide our fingers underneath our thigh and extend our foot out straight again. And this time we're going to draw a circle. So you point your toe, instead of having it flex, point your toe and make circles. And you can support your circle making with your hands, and then try at points to let go. And then come back and reverse the direction. And then bring that foot back down to the mat. And we'll do that on the other side. So interlace your fingers around your right knee, bringing it up. And then slide those hands underneath your knee, straightening out your leg, pointing your toe, and draw the circles with your toe. And then reverse direction. And then bring that foot back down. Bring your right hand to your left knee, and then bring your left hand right behind your hip. So you may need to scooch forward depending on your chair. And then you're going to gently turn to the left side of your mat, maybe using your left leg as a little bit of a leveraging point to really twist gently into the pose, and then send your head over your left shoulder if that's possible. And then come back to center, and we'll do that on the other side. So bring your left hand to your right knee. Right hand goes behind your hips, flat on the chair. Twist to the right side. And again, you can use your right hand against your left hand against your right knee for a little bit of leverage, and send your gaze out over your right shoulder. And then come back to center. Okay, the next pose is we're going to actually go down to the mat. So the last two things, this one last pose and then Shavasana we're going to do on the mat. So you lower to the mat or the floor. And you're going to have your chair facing you. And bring your legs up to the chair and slowly roll back down to the mat. And your knees aren't necessarily right above your hips. They're more at a diagonal a little bit of a 45-degree angle there. And bring your palms to the mat. And you're going to push down into your heels, lifting your hips up to the sky for bridge pose. And then lowering one vertebrae at a time back down. Anchoring your lower back to the mat. You might need to adjust your legs just so you feel a little bit of that force that your legs, you're either pushing off your heels or you're pushing off, yeah, I guess it is your heels, the bottom of your legs. Lifting your hips up toward the sky. Rounding your shoulders into the mat for bridge pose. You can really feel that in your back of your legs, your hamstrings. And then slowly lower one vertebrae at a time back down. And then one last time. So we're going to push down, lifting our hips up to the sky, keeping our knees equal distance apart, same fundamentals as bridge pose, rolling our shoulders under a little bit, if that's comfortable. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come back down to the mat. So the last pose, you often hear me talking about legs up a wall or ants up a tree, same thing. This is the same idea using the chair. I took a Shvarupa class, and this is how they do Shavasana. So you can actually do this for your Shavasana or just have this be in place of the legs up the wall pose, and then remove it and go to Shavasana. So this one, your hips are right underneath your knees. And if you have a chair that has an open back, you can actually send your feet through the hole in the back. So the back of your knees are against the chair. And you just relax here. It's, again, if you don't have a handy wall or cabinet or whatever, kitchen cabinets close by, this is a nice substitute. So you just relax here. And you can stay here as long as you like, and then go into Shavasana with your regular style, removing your legs from the chair. Just let your whole body relax. Let the nutrients of today's practice soak deep within you. Relaxing your feet, your shins, your knees, your hips. Relaxing your lower back into the mat. Relaxing your shoulder blades into the mat, letting them just melt into that softness of your mat. Relax your shoulders and your arms, letting your palms flop open, palms up to the sky. Relax your neck and your jaw. Place a gentle smile upon your lips. And since this week we went into the season of autumn, I have a autumn equinox blessing. The light and the dark are the same in length. They have equal time and equal strength. But soon the darkness will prevail, and the light and warmth will begin to pale. But do not be afraid, do not dismay, for this is the rhythm of nature's way. Rejoice in the abundance that this year bears. Breathe deep in the coolness and change in the air. Have gratitude and blessing, keep toll, and may this shift of nature enlighten your soul.